Hi, I'm Jody Daly, and this is Let's Talk, where consumers like you talk about everyday topics. And today we're talking about the B word. Yes, budget. Now, budget means different things to different people. And today we've gathered a group of budget-minded folks to talk about how they stretch their dollar to fit their household needs. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very nice to see you. First, we have Zakiya Young down there. How are you, Zakiya?
I'm good. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. And then Rocco Spoon and Sunny Frumpkin.
Hi.
Renee McCartney in bright pink. I think we look really good
I
together.
know, we're good.
This is
Wonder
terrific.
Twins.
Before we get started, would you guys tell me a little bit about yourselves? And I'll start with you, Zakiya.
I am an actress. I am divorced. I live uptown in Harlem. I'm also a musician.
And Rocco.
Well, I'm a 41-year-old father and husband, and I am into real estate and hospitality.
And Sunny, we were talking earlier, you're engaged.
Yes, recently engaged. It's a lot of planning involved.
And a lot of money.
I know.
And how about you, Renee?
I'm a wife and a mother to a 4.5-year-old and 2 Shih Tzus, and I do on-air TV sales.
Show of hands, who's on a budget? All right. Now show of hands, who keeps to that budget? Seriously, Rocco.
Seriously.
Do tell, because none of the rest of us do.
Raise your hand.
Oh, come on now.
I'm the father of a 7-year-old boy and an 11-month-old boy.
Okay.
Now I have another mouth to feed. My oldest son, he participates in different programs. So, there's definitely a lot of things that I need to keep in mind.
So budget's really important for you.
Absolutely.
How hard is it to stay on a budget?
It's actually not too hard for me. I've just been very conscious of my finances once I got out of college. And I've always been really good with managing my money.
Good. You raised your hands and said you are on a budget, so obviously you think budgeting is important. Why? Why is it for you, Zakiya?
Well, I'm divorced. It's just me taking care of myself. And, as an actress, you have to keep yourself in line because sometimes you'll get a well-paying job and that might have to last you a couple of years because you might not get another well-paying job.
A couple of years?
You just never know.
That must be really good jobs if it's going to last you a couple of years.
Well, I mean, but it's that kind of thing where I've learned the hard way that I can't just relax and
Right.
assume that jobs are automatically coming in. And
Right.
from those experiences, I was like, okay, next time I get a good gig, I have to plan and live like I'm not making a lot.
So you stretch it. You really stretch that dollar. How about you, Sunny?
Well, as you know, I'm newly engaged, so we're thinking about starting a family probably after that.
Let's
so
get
I
past the
know-
wedding first.
I know.
I mean,
which
you have
is
to save for that.
exactly, which is why we should stick to a budget, which my fiance is very good at, but I'm not so good at that.
And what were you going to say, Renee?
I get an allowance. I blow that maybe by Wednesday. And then I'm like, to my husband, well, I got to pay for this. I have to pay for that. And he's like, he just... And I'm not frivolous spending. I'm not like I'm shopping for myself. It's like that maybe that week was like I had to get birthday presents for
Yeah.
the parties or, or it was graduation party, communion party. Like that money adds up in the envelopes.
You have, by Wednesday, blown your budget. But do any of you sit down and actually write out what you're going to spend or what you have spent? Go ahead.
I do. I have to.
Why?
Otherwise, I will spend it all and then I won't have any money for groceries.
Yeah.
So, especially being single, you want to go out, you want to meet people. That is expensive. And if I'm out past midnight, I'm taking a cab home. That's expensive. So what I've started doing is once the money hits my account, I budget what I need for the week in necessities and then what I need for the month, like, the monthly subway card, all of those regular things. And I try and give myself a little bit out of each week to spend on me.
Okay. What about credit cards? Who puts their purchases on credit cards?
Certain ones.
Certain ones? No? No over here. Yes?
Most
No?
of the time, I
Most
do.
of the time?
Yeah.
Now, can you keep on? Now, have you ever tried to go shopping with cash and then go shopping again with credit cards? It's a whole lot easier going shopping with credit
Credit
cards
card,
because
yeah.
you watch that cash disappear.
Yes.
If you want to stay on a budget, doing it with cash.
Yeah. I've my cash or a check card. I don't really use my credit cards anymore. That was another so if I don't have it, I can't spend it.
Okay, and you were saying yes, you use credit cards sometimes.
Oh yeah, I do. It's just much easier for me than to carry around cash. And I actually, so far, been managing to pay them off in full.
So none of you guys stay on a budget actually, but you kind of know the comings and goings of budgets. What's the one thing that keeps you from being on a budget?
Not
Oh,
having
stop
enough money.
Well, Jody, that was pretty obvious, wasn't it? Or maybe having really good taste. Zakiya, what about you?
Life.
Life.
You know, little things come up that I've forgotten about. Like, I live fairly close to my family. So when there's a birthday, if I'm not working on a show, I go home for the birthday. That's travel, that's presents, you know, all kinds of little things that I enjoy and I don't include in the budget because they're not a monthly occurrence.
Right. Well, we are going to talk about a little thing when we come back. When we come back, we're going to hold this little $10 bill up to the test and show how it can make a big difference over time when it comes to budgeting. So stay with us for more of Let's Talk. Looking for a great way to keep your weekly shopping budget in check? Well, choose your favorite supermarket store brands, and you'll be amazed at the savings you'll see at the register. Made from the same quality ingredients as national brands, store brands really add up to great savings. Give them a try and add some money to your wallet. Well, we are back with our great group of budget-conscious people who I'm going to show that $10 can make a big difference over time. So let's just take a look.
Savings mount up. Here's what $10 a week can mean to your wallet. Let's say you have a budget and you underspend $10 a week. Saving that money, week over week, year over year. If you put it in a piggy bank, in 30 years that $10 a week has turned into more than $15,000. If you invest it, even at current low interest rates, it would go up to $24,000 over 30 years. Now let's say you're on a budget and you overspend $10 a week. Over that same 30 years, you would have lost $15,000 that you could have saved. But the big news is that if you used a credit card for your purchases, it could be much worse. That $15,000 which you put on your credit card would have to be paid back. If you pay the minimum payment every month, it would cost you an extra $43,000 and take you 30 years to do it. So the next time you say to yourself, I really should think about a budget, think of that $10 bill and what it can do for or against you over time.
Did any of that surprise anybody at this table? Oh, look at your face.
I mean, it just seeing the numbers, that's what surprised me.
Yeah.
You know,
30
like,
years, that's a
yeah.
that's a long time.
It's
Yeah.
a long time. But what if you got in the habit of just throwing $10 into the drawer instead of out the window? And it's that overspending that really gets me. Who was saying that they pay off their credit card?
Me.
I did.
Do you see what it can do? Do you carry a balance?
Not anymore.
How come?
Well, I used to in my 30s, and I mismanaged a lot of things.
All you have to say.
That's all I'm
Got
gonna
it.
say.
So, boom, done.
But now, yeah,
Good.
came through it out on the other end.
Good. And you had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
How many people in America carry a balance? I mean, I don't understand that. My father always said, if you don't have it in your pocket, you don't spend it.
I do that now.
I know.
I really do.
But
it
you
now.
had to learn it the hard
I had-
way. How
yeah.
about you don't do it?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
good.
I
You're
have
good.
a good practice.
Good.
Yeah.
What about you?
Zero balance.
Zero balance?
Emergencies. And I was not expecting my marriage to end.
Right.
So suddenly I had to move. I had to pack up my things. I had to pay for a lot of things that I just did not have money set aside for because I didn't know was going to happen. So I literally am paying that off now.
Now, how's it going? Are you able to make some progress every month?
Yeah, I am. It's, you know, it's the type of thing where, you know, I have in my mind for the next big gig, like, okay, this amount of money, I know what I need per month. Everything else is going to go wipe that out.
So let's all think just for a second of how we could save this per week. Now, for me, that means one bottle of wine that I wouldn't buy, which is never going to happen, so I would have to find another way of doing it. But what would be your $10 difference that you could make every week? What about you, Rocco?
I'm going to say probably being able to do my own clothing, iron them myself instead of taking them to the dry cleaners.
That's 2 shirts.
Absolutely.
We're just talking 2 shirts.
Absolutely.
That's
you know,
really-
you just put a little extra time, and you're just saving a ton of money.
Right. How about you?
I was thinking maybe if you take yoga classes, instead of paying for them, you can go to Yoga to the People, which is by donation.
What is your guilty pleasure that perhaps you allow yourself?
You know, the one thing is I go out to eat with my friends, and I could actually eat before I go and just get like a soda or a glass of wine.
Or let them pay for it.
I mean, that too. But you know what I mean? Like, instead of getting like the whole shebang, I could eat before. I have a friend who does that, and she's great with money, and she always has a good time. So I'm going to take a cue from her.
And then you meet up with them a little bit later on.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. Any thoughts from you? Because you've been there. You've
It's
been there and got
hard.
out.
Yeah, I often say to myself, like, and I didn't do this before, but definitely after having my daughter, like, do I really need this or do I really want this?
Somebody once said to me, the difference between a successful financial person and a failure is knowing the difference between a want and a need. And you sound like you are marrying somebody who knows what need
Needs.
is.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Which is
Learning
very
a lot
smart.
from him.
But it's just these really little things that I think we can all do. But I'm not giving up my wine. Anyway, a lot of great ideas, and I knew this group would be motivated. So as a thank you for all of your great insight, I thought I would get you all started on your little journey. So there you go. Kia's down there going, anything will help.
Kia's like,
Little $10 for everybody.
Right.
Seriously.
glass of wine.
Because $10, remember, just $10 a week over time can make a huge difference in your budget. So for all of you, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. And for our audience, thank you. And for more information about what we've discussed on today's show, visit the Store Brands USA channel here on YouTube or go online to storebrandsusa.com for shopping information, recipe ideas, and a lot more. Thanks so much for being with us. And I hope you join us again for another edition of Let's Talk. And yes, you may keep the $10.